Are you really doing the most important thing for your health? By all these distractions when you're on YouTube, on Instagram, you see everybody talk about health. But do you know what the foundations of health are? Hello everyone, if you're new here, my name is Sophie. Welcome to my channel, Natural Roots, where I talk about all things related to health as a woman recovering from chronic illness and soon to be practitioner. If you follow any health influencers on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok, you'll see them promoting many different things. They can be supplements, they can be gadgets, PMF mats, infrared sauna, etc., etc., etc. And if you don't know exactly what are the foundations to health, you can quickly spend a few $1,000s on getting all these gadgets. Now, I'm not telling you that these gadgets are not useful and does not have their place, because obviously they do and have helped many people get better. However, if you have limited resources, aka money, like most of us do, you can't afford to just buy all these things because they're not cheap either. So where should you really focus your time, money, and efforts towards? If you want to think it from a logical lens, what are we exposed to every single day that without them we cannot survive? We have our food, our air, and our water. And you might be like, well, I eat good, I drink enough water. No, today we're going to be going a little bit deeper onto the quality of the air, of the food, and of the water you're ingesting. Because it's not about the quantity, but it's more about the quality that you are ingesting into your body. So first up, let's start with food. Now, most of you guys probably know that processed foods are obviously not the best thing for your health. I'm not saying that you should never be consuming them, but especially if you're on a detox protocol or on a healing protocol, you really want to reduce the amount of toxins and chemicals that your body is exposed to. Because the whole principle of doing a detox protocol is to eliminate toxins out of your body. So we want to make sure that we're not ingesting more and making our body work harder. Your body's able to process a small quantity, but we don't want to overburden the body when we are doing especially a detox protocol. Now, if you're like, I'm good, I only eat, whole foods and, very rarely processed foods, I think my diet is great. Now, the next step would be to eat more organic foods. And before you all come at me and be like, well, organic is a scam, I don't have the money, etc., etc., I understand the financial aspects of it. And obviously not everyone is able to afford a whole grocery of organic foods. Organic foods may still have residues of glyphosate and other pesticides inside of it. The definition made by the USDA is that organic means that it's certified to have grown on soil that had no prohibited substance applied for 3 years prior to harvest. Glyphosate stay a long time in the soil, and obviously your food will have residues inside of them. But it's a lot less than conventional agriculture where they spray glyphosate and pesticides multiple times through harvest. Now, we can't talk about organic foods if we don't talk about GMO seeds. So what are GMO seeds? Well, it's seeds that has been genetically modified to be able to acclimate better to environmental changes and to different weather. And what do they mean exactly by environmental changes? Pesticides. So what happens is when they plant the seed, they go and they spray glyphosate and all the other weeds, so weed is defined as the plant they are not trying to cultivate, die. But the GMO seed or the GMO plant now is actually able to survive. So all the other natural plants or weeds or unwanted things that are growing in the soil all die because of the glyphosate. But the plant that you are expected to eat that will have either fruits, vegetables, or wheat still grows. And you are supposed to ingest this and are supposed to feel good eating this. I mean, personally, I would not want to eat something that can survive this amount of pesticides. Obviously, if all the other natural plants die after the land has been sprayed. I know organic food can be expensive. However, the EWG composes a Clean 15 Dirty Dozen list every single year. And this is a list where they do tests and analyze which type of fruit, which type of vegetables contain the most amount of pesticides and to the least amount of pesticides. So based on that, you can do an informed choice and be like, okay, well, I know strawberries have more pesticides, so I will choose to get organic strawberries. I know that onions don't really have a lot of pesticides, so it's okay if I go the conventional route and get my onions non-organic. It's about having all the information at hand so you as a consumer can make appropriate choices based on your needs and your goals and the situation you are in, correct? Like if you are not able to afford all organic, well, at least you have the choice of choosing foods that have the least amount of pesticides. Obviously, everybody will have a different situation, but it's about having the information available to you. I will link the link down below in the description. Now, next up is water. The recommended dosage of water that we should be drinking every single day is 2 to 3 liters. Now, if you're drinking tap water, this means that you are ingesting chlorine, fluoride, radioactive elements such as uranium and radon, other people's medication that gets excreted in the urine, and you are now drinking that. So you are now consuming a lot of chemicals through something that is supposed to flush out toxins from your body. Because water is something not only to hydrate your cells and hydrate your body, but it's also supposed to flush out toxins of your system. Now, if the water you are ingesting contains a lot of toxins, it kind of defies the purpose of drinking water and flushing out toxins from your system. So you really want to ensure that the quality of your water is very high because you don't want to be ingesting more toxins. Now, if you already have a filter, that's great. However, please make sure to regularly maintenance your filter because it has been proven that filters, the quality of the water will decrease over time. Because if you think about it, filters are wet and are often stored in dark places, which is the perfect breeding ground for bacteria to grow. What I personally drink is distilled water. I get it from a nearby shop, and it's great because distilled water, actually the process of distillation removes 99.99% of all toxins. Yes, it removes the good and the bad. However, you can add minerals in your water and you know exactly what you are ingesting in your body. There are home distillation, but also you can get it from the store. However, if you choose to get it from the store, make sure that they have a carbon filter because this removes VOCs, volatile organic compounds. The water we drink is probably second next to air, so we want to ensure good quality, that the water can actually flush out the toxins in our body and that we're not ingesting more. As for the minerals, if you are eating a whole foods diet, most of your minerals comes from vegetables and fruits. But if you want to add it to your water, that's no problem either. And lastly on the list, but probably the most important, is the air we breathe. We obviously cannot control it when we go outside, when you're at school, when you're shopping, or at work. However, in your home, the quality of your air is something you can have some control over, and it's very, very, very important. If you think about it, you drink water 2 to 3 liters per day, you eat maybe 3 to 4 times a day, but we are breathing 24/7. Like, you cannot survive more than a couple seconds or a couple minutes without breathing. A cheap and easy way is to open your windows or doors to circulate the air in your home. because a lot of things can actually decrease the quality of air in your home, such as VOCs, so volatile organic compounds, that from materials in your home, such as flooring and cabinets, pets, if you have pets, cats, dogs, whatever kind of pets you have, obviously dust, and mold, even if you are not aware of it. If you are living in mold and know that you are living in mold, a air filter is very, very great. Even though it will not remove the mold, it can reduce your exposure to the air you're breathing. By using an air filter, we want to reduce the amount of toxins and chemicals that you are breathing every single second of your day. Even though you're like, okay, well, I don't have mold, I don't have pets, it's still a great option to reduce your exposure to dust, to allergens, to environmental pollutants. So today I talked about the importance of reducing our exposure to glyphosate, as well as eating a whole foods diet to make sure to not overburn your body when you are on a detox protocol or when you're trying to flush out toxins from your body. Then I talked about the water you drink. If you are drinking tap water, I highly recommend drinking distilled water or buying a water filter if that suits your needs better, because we want to lower our toxin bucket and we want to reduce our toxin bucket from the water we are drinking. And finally, the air that we are breathing, we want to make sure that there's no dust, that there's no mold or mycotoxins that we are breathing every single day. Thank you all for coming out, and see you next week.